Hi and welcome to another Type with me. In this video I want to talk about Keystone.js schemas. So this is, for example, Keystone schemas, right? And so here you can define your schema for Keystone. And so in the last video we saw already how you could install Keystone and how you could use Keystone, but of course it's more than that. The most important part of it is the schema.ts, right? So for example here, user, it has a name and the validation is required, so it's true. Then you have an email address, you have validation here, and you have an index that it's unique, right? So we can define that something is really unique, and then you can say that you want to have a password. And posts can have relationships. So if we go a little bit deeper into, for example, the posts, well, the posts, they have a title, just text. If you don't put anything in the title, that's fine. And then you have a status, which is select, right? And then you have some options there. You have content, which is a document, which has some options. But let us create something very easy, right? So I'm going to create cars. So we're going to create a model cars. Of course, we are not going to create it right here, because that's the relationship to it. I just need to create it right here. So create car of type list. Okay, so everything has fields. So this one would have a field as well, or fields as well. And then we can define fields. So the first one would be the name of the car, right? So I'm gonna put text. And I want to have it required. So we have some examples right here that it's required. So I'm just gonna copy paste it. And right here, validation needs to be is required. Right here is required. And then here I can say that I want to have something like manufacturer, right? Can be just text. Then I maybe want to have an engine. That engine can be of text, right? Maybe you can say created, and it needs to be of timestamp. So also need to put a comma right here. So that's something like that. And then of course we want to see who has created this car, right, into the system. So we also need to have an author, for example, just as some kind of reference, right? So what I want to do here is I want to put a relationship on this. And again, to make no mistakes, I'm just gonna copy paste a little bit of the posts, right? Because they have also an author, and I'm just gonna say here that I want to have this, right? And what's very important is that you can say the relationship. So right here, we say that it has the relationship of user with posts. So we're gonna create cars right here. And then we can say here that the UI needs to be of display mode cards, and then cards fields, name, email, so forth. So if we go to the top, to the user, we can just define car.author, right? And here I'm gonna put cars, so every user will have a list of cars that he has authored, right? So now I can do npm run dev, and it's always very excited if it's gonna work. All right, he accepted my schema. How wonderful. Oh, that's just great. All right. Our admin UI is also ready, so we can visit our UI, right? So I'm going to show you what we have created right away. So when I go to the interface, you see here directly that I created cars and that we can create a car, right? So I can create a car and I call it Mercedes E-Class. Of course, it's from type Mercedes, 180D, and then we created it today, and the author is just the admin. So I'm gonna select the admin, right? I'm gonna create a car. The car has been created, and then of course I have here my car, Mercedes E-Class. Hooray! Great! We have a Mercedes in our Keystone database. So it's not I didn't get paid from Mercedes, but yeah, it's a great brand, so why not? So this is the video around schemas in Keystone.js, right? So for me, it's really intuitive. It's easy to add new types and to click them in together, right? So I definitely advise you to test it out and to work with Keystone. I'm a fan of it. I like it, because then of course you can add a front end to it and then start playing with it, right?